The fall breeze whispered through the gaps in Anna Carter's barn, bringing the smell of coming rain. She worked steadily among the stalls, laying fresh straw for her two ponies, and the old dairy cow that no longer gave milk but stayed as a loyal friend. At 42, Anna had settled into the patterns of a lone life on her modest farm at the edge off Willow Creek. The 5 acres she held were enough to support her since Henry died 3 years back. The first heavy raindrops hit the roof as Anna completed her evening tasks. She lingered at the barn door, watching the dirt lane to Herland darken with dampness. Far off, thunder echoed across the valley, pulling her faded sweater close around her. She braced to run to the farmhouse when a steer at her property's rim caught her gaze. A rider on horseback appeared from trees, wobbling unsteadily in the saddle, even in the dimming light and rising rain. Anna could sense something was wrong. The rider's stance was hunched, and the horse stepped with the shaky tread off a beast weary from a long journey. Anna paused only a moment before stepping into the rain. As the rider neared, she saw it was a man, his clothes crusted with mud and what seemed like dried blood staining one side of his shirt. His cap was drawn low, but when he raised his face at her approach, she saw features setched by sun and toil, with days off stubble and eyes shadowed by pain. "Ma'am," he said, his voice faint against the rain, "sorry for the disturbance. My horse needs rest." And he didn't finish. Starting to slip from the saddle, Anna moved fast, supporting him as best she could. "Let's get you both inside," she said, guiding him to the barn while leading his tired horse. Once inside, unacted swiftly, she settled the man on Aclean bed of straw, then cared for his horse, removing the saddle and bridle before giving water and grain. The animal was a strong bay quarter horse, well-bred but pushed to exhaustion. Only after ensuring the horse's comfort did she focus fully on its rider. "I'm Anna Carter," she said, kneeling beside him with a lantern. "You're injured." The man winced as he shifted. Will Blake took a tumble crossing the stream 10 miles back. Horse startled at something. He lifted his shirt's hem, showing a rock cut along his ribs. "Would have reached town, but got lost in these hills." Anna nodded. "Town's 15 miles west. You're fortunate you found my place." She stood, mind made up. "I'll be back with supplies. Don't move more than needed." In her farmhouse, Anna gathered essentials, clean clothes, her sewing kit, a bottle of whiskey Henry kept for healing, and her homemade balm. By that time she returned, the storm raged hard, rain pounding the roof and wind moaning through the trees. Will watched quietly as he cleaned his wound, his jaw tight against the sting when she used the whiskey. "You've done this before," he noted as she readied to stitch the worst of the cut. "My husband was clumsy," Anna replied, threading her needle. "This will sting." He nodded once, staying steady as she worked, only a slight squint of his eye showing his pain. When she finished and applied her balm, she leaned back. "You're feverish. You should come to the house." Will shook his head. "I've troubled you, ma'am." "The barn's fine." Anna studied him briefly, the proud tilt of his shoulders despite his wound, the way he avoided her gaze, a man uneasy with aid but too weak to refuse fully. "At least take these," she said, placing a clenchert, a blanket, and a jug of water. "I'll bring food soon." Later, after ensuring her guest had eaten, Anna returned to her silent home. Through the window, she saw the lantern's glow still shining in the barn. Something about Will Blake puzzled her, not in a fearful way, but like a riddle with missing parts. His clothes were worn but well made, his speech polished despite his apparent role as a herder. The enigma lingered as Shep prepared for bed. Morning brought clear skies and cool air. Anna rose at dawn, as usual, and went to the barn. She found Will awake, looking somewhat better though still pale. Under his tan, his horse, too, seemed restored after rest and care. "Your fever's gone," Anna noted after checking his brow. "How's the wound?" "Better, thanks to you," Will replied, his voice firmer. "Mrs. Carter, I can't thank you enough, but I swear I will." Anna brushed off his words. "Anyone would have done it." Will shook his head slowly. "No, ma'am, Nodal would." A sorrow in his eyes, unrelated to his injury, made her look closer. They shared a modest breakfast in the barn, fresh eggs and bread from Anna's kitchen. Will ate lightly but drew vigor from the coffee. When he spoke again, his tone grew formal. "I must move on. But system, I'd like to return tomorrow, if I may. There's something I need to discuss. Anna raised a brow but didn't pry. You're welcome back, Mr. Blake, but don't ride far with that wound. He gave a faint smile. I won't go far today, just to town to see a lawyer. The words baffled her, but she nodded and helped him ready his horse. As he mounted, clearly pained despite hiding it, he tipped his cap. Till tomorrow, Mrs. Carter, and thank you again. After he left, Anna resumed her routine, but thoughts of the cryptic cowboy broke her focus. Why would a wounded herder need a lawyer true to his word? Will Blake return the next afternoon with 2 men in a wagon marked with Wilson's store logo, while the men unloaded crates near Anna's house. Will approach with an envelope. Mrs. Carter, he began, standing straighter though his wounds still ached. I brought something that can't fully repay your kindness, but it's all I can offer. Puzzled, Anna took the envelope and opened it. Inside was a legal paper, dense and formal. She looked at Will, confused. It's the deed to the land around your farm, he said softly. 2,000 acres, from your east border to the stream and north to the ridge. Anna stared, speechless. I don't understand. Will removed his cap, holding it humbly. I'm William Blake. My family owned the Doubleby Ranch for generations. The land's been split and sold, but that parcel, he nodded at. The paper was my great-grandfather's first homestead. Anna shook her head. Then why give it? 3 days ago, Will continued, I learned my heart's weak. Doctor says I must sell the ranch, move to lower ground with better care. Grief flickered across his face. I was riding the borders one last time, saying farewell. That's when I fell. He looked to the hills. You didn't just mend my wound, Mrs. Carter. You showed kindness to a stranger without question. That land needs a true steward, one who values compassion. Anna gazed at the deed in her shaking hands. Mr. Blake, this is too much. I can't accept. Please, he said gently, cutting her off. The lawyers have filed it. The men are bringing supplies, seeds for spring, tools, what you'll need. He pointed to the wagon. The land has water rights to the stream. It's fertile soil. My father grew fine barley there before cattle. Anna felt tears rise, overwhelmed by this turn. I don't know what to say. Say you'll tend it, Will replied simply. That's all I ask. As they stood in the fall sunlight, a wounded man who'd lost his life's work, and a widow granted a new chapter, something shifted. Not love, but a bond just as deep, respect and a shared sense of what matters. I will, Anna vowed, her voice firm despite her tears. And when your health mends, visit sometimes. Share tales of the land's past. Will smiled, a true smile lighting his eyes. I'd like that. Mrs. Carter, as Will mounted his horse to leave, Anna watched. Deed in hand, the land before her was no longer just her view, but a new story to write. One act of kindness, given freely, had changed it all.